Hey guys, my name is Mariana and today I'm going to share with you all my cross-stitching WIPs that I've accumulated over the course of the past 6 years. I've been introduced to cross-stitching since I was very young because I was born and raised in Ukraine, and both my grandma and my mother were cross-stitching, and I was interested in it since I was a kid. But I started to build up my cross-stitching pile starting with 2019. And that was the year that I discovered the Flosstube. Before, I didn't imagine that you could have so many ongoing projects at once, and I'm glad that I discovered it. Before I would like to say that I have over 50 WIPs, and I very like all of them. But before we proceed exploring all of them, I would like to have a few disclaimers. First of all, this is my first video ever. I've never recorded anything in my life, so if I make any mistakes, I'd ask you to forgive me. Secondly, I'd like to say that English isn't my first language, so if I make any pronunciation or otherwise mistakes, you could bear with me. That is pretty much it. Also, I'm gonna show you all of my ongoing WIPs, but I'm not gonna be diving deep into some details, some specifications. In case you have any questions about certain projects I have, you could drop me a line in the comments below. So I will answer all of your questions if you have any. So without further ado, let's dive into my cross-stitching pile. I will start with one of my oldest WIPs. This is, I suppose that this is the replica from the brand which was called Dome or Dome. I'm not really sure how do you pronounce it correctly. I also don't know the correct name of the kit or the pattern. I call it Dream House or Dream Home, and I started it back in 2021, and over the course of 4 years I've done only 10%, and this is pretty much everything that I have on canvas right now. But I'm not really rushing. It doesn't bother me. So this is the first one. And the next one, which is also from 2021, it's a museum collection from the brand called Golden Art, and this is a replica of Mignard's painting, which is called Madonna with Grapes. It's also one of my most ancient projects, but I'm really close to finishing it. It's like almost, I don't know, 60 or 65% done. It's pretty huge. It's gonna be 60 over 40. It's in centimeters because since I'm from Ukraine, I'm not really trained in inch numerical system. So if I'm gonna be telling you something, it's gonna be in centimeters. So this is the second one from 2021. Actually, I have only two projects which are that old, like 4 years old. And after that, we're going to proceed with 2022. I have a fair number of projects which I started in 2022, and they are still in my project pile. This one is from all favorite Dimensions. It's Romantic Floral. I like it very much, and I've done it, I don't know, maybe it's 30 or 35%. I'm not gonna be telling you the precise percentage. Later on, when we're gonna move or proceed with my diaries, like weekly diaries or decades, how I call them. I'm gonna be diving deeper into some specifications such as the dimensions or the number of stitches or the programs I use for cross stitching. So yeah, this is one of, I mean, all of the Dimensions Gold Collection projects, they are like supreme. I really like them. And you're gonna see a number of those as we proceed with my pile. The next one, it's called Sunny Autumn. It's from the brand called Riolis. One of the most peculiar things about this project is that it's not stitched in regular like DMC thread, but in acrylic or woolen thread. This is a very, very bright and magnificent creation. So it's a shame that I haven't done it more than like, I don't know, 5%. It's very great. And this is how much I've stitched so far, but it's okay. I'm gonna finish it sooner or later. It's also a big project because it's also 60 by 40 or something. So, but it's done on 10 count Ada, so it goes pretty fast, and the crosses are so plump and nice because most of the crosses are stitched in 3 threads, and they have some like peculiar blends which consist of 3 threads of different colors, so it's really nice. The next project is called Ashberries Garland. It's from the brand Magic Needle. I started it in 2022. Actually, I started it when the war in Ukraine broke out, and I don't know. I don't have any like harsh feelings about it, or anything like that. I still like it, but it's like I have too many WIPs and too little time. This is a beautiful piece with sunflowers and ashberries and all the autumn berries and stuff like that. I'm not really a seasonal stitcher. I'm not really connected to a season, so I can stitch something from the wintry in summer and otherwise. But I don't know, I just had too many ongoing projects, so this one is still resting. The next one is called Free Flight. It's also from the brand Riolis. Yeah, this is also a huge piece. It's like 50 by 40, and I was very anxious about it. I'm not anxious. I was very excited about getting it, and the moment I got it, I started it. And this is as much as I managed to stitch. It isn't a complicated piece. It's also stitched in those acrylic threads. Right here, you can see that it's quite different from the regular cotton thread like DMC. It's very nice. It's like very warm and cozy to stitch with. I don't know, one day I suppose I'm gonna finish it because it's a really majestic, I would say, piece, and it has so many pretty blends. The piece, this project has like full stitch and also half stitch and maybe a little bit of back stitching, but primarily it's like these two types of stitches. Moving on. Here comes the classics of dimensions. It's parrot tulips. This isn't an original dimensions piece. It is Chinese replica, but I don't really have anything against Chinese replicas. If anything, I like stitching those patterns. In case you don't know how the whole piece looks like, it's like this. It was a restart because I started it as it came as a kit from China, and it was on 14 count Ada, and it was white, and I didn't like how it came out, and that's why I restarted it. And this is 16 count, I suppose, Avery Zweigert Ada. And I had to do a couple of alterations because here the dimension original kit uses golden or metallic thread, and the Chinese piece didn't have that, so I had to incorporate it. But it's okay. I mean, other than that, everything is fine with the threads, the pattern, everything coincides with the original piece. This is how much I've done so far. I like it. It's really beautiful. I mean, all the dimensions gold collection is supreme. The next one is also a piece from the brand called Riolis. It is a replica for Gustav Klimt's Kiss pattern. Unfortunately, I don't have a preview because I was moving from Ukraine to Italy, where I currently reside, and I couldn't take all of my projects, all of my kits with me, and I had to leave some unnecessary parts. And sometimes for some reason, I thought that preview was unnecessary. This is how the whole piece is going to look like. A part of regular crosses, full crosses. The piece contains some crystal beads, so it's gonna be really pretty. I also restarted this one because I made a mistake and I had to frog it all out, and I don't know, maybe it has like some 5% done so far. It's not difficult, it's really easy to stitch, it's very bright, it's very beautiful. In fact, I like all the museum replicas and collections, but I have not enough time to do enough on my cross-stitching pieces. Well, maybe someday, I mean, it's not maybe, but someday I'm gonna finish it, I'm gonna frame it, that's for sure. The next one, it's also a Chinese replica for, I don't know if it's Ukrainian or already Polish brand, which is called Mereshka. As far as I know, it's called Midnight or Twilight Reflections. For some reason, I call it Night in Brugge. I don't know why I call it this way, but I don't know. I just have weird parallels with this piece. I haven't stitched much on this kit. One of the main reasons is because it is 18 count Ada. It's not like I don't see it, but I don't really like the smaller counts like 36 or 18 count Ada. So that's probably one of the major reasons I haven't finished it yet. Other than that, the piece is beautiful. The palette, the intertwining of colors. It's very beautiful. Also, one day it's gonna be hanging on one of my walls. Proceeding with 2022 collection. This is once again a piece from Riolis, which is called At the Fountain. Well, you can see a small fountain here. I don't know why, but for some reason I always associated this piece with Italy. one specific town in particular, and it happened so like a year and a half ago we moved to Italy. Now we're here. One of the peculiarities of this pattern is that apart from the regular crosses and half crosses, it features like some ribbons. I've never done this ribbon stitching, but I'm still far beyond reaching this part. I hope I'm gonna manage it. I don't know, and even if I can make those beautiful roses with ribbons, I'm gonna leave it as it is, because otherwise the picture is still beautiful. As you can see, I have a bit stitched here and a bit stitched here. The main reason is because I wanted to start it ASAP. This kit arrived as a part of my birthday present, and I couldn't wait to begin it, and I started from the middle. But this is not my regular type of stitching. I usually start from the bottom right part, and then I move, I don't know, whatever the pattern takes me, either up or to the left. So then I gridded the canvas, and I started from my favorite angle, from the right bottom angle, and now I'm gonna be moving up. This one is actually, I think it's the pair of the previous pattern. This one is called Santorini. It's also from the brand Riolis. I also don't have a preview, but this is an original pattern. Someday it's gonna look like this. The final piece is gonna look a lot better than this pixeled picture screen in the program, from the program. But one of the main peculiarities of this project is that it combines both acrylic threads. Hold up, I'm checking if I'm telling you the truth. Yes, it's a mixture of acrylic cross and cotton thread, not cross but thread. It's like it has a piece of the project is stitched in acrylic threads, and the rest is using anchor, if I'm not mistaken, anchor palette. So these are like cotton threads. As you can see, it has a bit of stains because it's been in work for over 4 years now, but I think it's gonna all wash away after I'm done with the project. It's not very simple, like this part where the sea comes in, yeah, that part is simple, and also the part with the buildings, but the part with the road, with the stairs and with the bushes, it's a mixture of different crosses, so it's kind of time consuming, but other than that it's a pleasant piece. The next one, it's also the classics of cross-stitching world. It's the Holiday Village from Dimensions. I started it back in 2021, but it belongs to my 2022 pile because I made a mistake. Instead of starting the project horizontally, I started it vertically, so I had to frog everything that I started, and I had to restart it. So, and the restart was in 2022, so now it belongs to my 2022 pile. I'm gonna show it to you like all hooped up because this is one of my projects which I plan to finish before Christmas this year. I plan to finish it and I plan to frame it, and I have like 20% left. It's like around 6,000 stitches. Primarily it's the back stitch and half stitches, so that's why I didn't want to take off the hoops, because it's kind of complicated to rehoop it once again. And I'm pretty sure that you've seen this piece many times. A funny thing about this piece, I was planning to buy it as a Chinese replica, because back in the day, that is 2021, this kind of kits, like the Dimension Gold collection of kits, they were pretty expensive, and I decided to order the Chinese replica, but for some reason I didn't choose the Holiday Village, and I chose Treasure Time, and it came, and I was a bit disappointed. And then I went to the cross-stitching store, and I bought the original, so everything played out nice. I mean, everything played out the way it was supposed to be. The next piece, it's gonna be a pillow. It's called My Dragon. I also, as you already gathered, I started it back in 2022, and it's not a replica of the brand PANNA, but it's rather my compilation, because I had the cross-stitch pattern, I had the digital pattern, and I ordered the threads for this, and I had the canvas from some Chinese kits I wasn't going to stitch. So it's gonna look this way. It's absolutely cute, and imagine it's gonna be a small cushion, or it's like a sofa cushion or something. And they have the collection of these cushions is like very large. Actually, my mom stitched a unicorn, and there's a dragon, there's a lighthouse, many different pillows that I also like to start and finish one day, but so far I have this one in my stash, and I have to finish it first before starting anything else. Well, I mean, it never stopped me. The part that I have one project in my stash never stopped me from starting another one. So yeah. Actually, I'm not sure if it's still 2022 or already 2023. I have like a list. I have it all organized by years in my diary. So yeah, it's still to 2022. I also started this one using a pattern I found online, and I bought the black canvas, and I have like the whole palette of DMC threads, so I started it in DMC, but for some, I don't know, I don't actually recall why I didn't like what I've started, and then I chose to buy an original piece. It was also a part of my birthday pack, if I can call it this way. I have a fair share of work done on this project already. Actually, this is one of my decade works, because recently I've adopted this structure. Since I have so many projects, I have to dedicate a little bit of time to each of them, and it's impossible since they are over 50, so I've adopted this structure when I have 12 chosen projects, and I stitch them on a monthly base until I finish them. And along those 12 projects, I have like 2 or 3 more, which I take from my other stash. So in that way, it's not that boring to stitch the same project over and over again. So yeah, this one's gonna be one of soonish finishes one day. The next piece, it's called in Chinese version, it's called Etude with Flowers, but the original name is Floral Etude or something like that. It's a replica for the brand Riolis, but this actual kit has been already discontinued a while ago, so I couldn't buy an original piece, and that's why I bought the Chinese actual Ami shop replica. It's also a part of my decades, and it's on its way to finish. I don't know, it's probably over 60% done already. It's really simple piece. The only thing with this kit was one number was mismatched by the company, and I've noticed it while stitching this part. This is like a table or something like that, and the brown colors, they didn't coincide. I mean, they were like too close to one another, so I had to change the thread. But other than that, it's absolutely perfect. Just look at those roses. I mean, the moment I finish this cup, it's so beautiful. There's nothing else I could say. When I'm gonna bring this, you're gonna rightfully wonder what is this. So far, I've showed you some patterns which mostly come as kits, and they are like regular patterns, but I've been admiring people who stitch multicolored projects, and I decided to start one on my birthday. It's been 3 years ago. I call it the Elf Queen. I'm not sure what's the actual name of it. It's like this elvish looking lady, but I'm not sure if this type of cross stitching is actually my thing. I don't have that much patience to deal with the confetti. I really hope that I'm gonna finish it one day, maybe, I don't know, in 10 years or something. But still, it's in my processes, and maybe one day I'm gonna finish it. Actually, I don't really know what type of canvas this is. Maybe it's stramine or hardanger. I'm not really sure. I don't really remember. But I'm stitching it in not the full stitch, but half cross stitches. Okay, I think that we're moving on to 2023. Oh, by the way, the Elf Queen was also started in 2023, this one. This kit is called My Goddess. It's also from the brand Magic Needle. For the longest while, I've seen this pattern, but I wasn't really impressed by it until I've seen one girl who was finishing this vase with the flowers, and she was like half done with the lady. And then I was like, oh my god, this is gorgeous, I need to have it. So I bought it. But originally it goes on 14 count Ada. I changed it. This is, I don't know if it's 27th or 25th count of Chinese even view. I changed it primarily because the face of the lady is stitched in petites. I don't know, here it says it looks like it's stitched in regular cross, but the chart shows that it's supposed to be stitched like Mirabilia ladies, like all those princesses and mermaids, so the skin should be stitched in half stitches, in petites. But I haven't reached that part yet. Well, if you look at it, I mean, the pattern is absolutely gorgeous, and it's also very interesting to stitch. But I don't have much, but at least there's something to show. Moving on with the classics. It's the famous Victorian charm. It's also called the witch's house or something like that. I don't know about all the rest of the Flosstube, but in Ukraine it is believed that if you start and finish this pattern, then you're gonna, I don't know, move into a new house or something like that. Actually, this kind of thing worked for me, because after I started stitching this pattern, I moved from Ukraine to Italy, so I guess it works. But it's once again, it's Chinese replica on dimensions. I stitched it according to the the pattern, the Chinese pattern and the digital pattern that I have in my cross stitch saga, it kind of coincides. So I just use the thread that has been provided by the Chinese brand, and I continue stitching it by digital pattern. I don't know, it's maybe almost 50% done. I would say that it's one of the easiest dimension stitches patterns that I have had. As far as I know, it's also not the gold collection, it's the regular collection, but it still looks magnificent. Moving on, this one is called King of the Jungle. It's it is a cross-stitching kit from Ukrainian brand, which is called Nova Sloboda. It's also absolutely stunning pattern, and the brand has made so many magnificent kits ever since, and I think that the Nova Sloboda brand is the most numerous in my collection. Well, considering that I'm Ukrainian, so one of the peculiarities of this brand is the type of thread, the type of floss they use. It's not like any regular cotton floss. It is more like a sewing floss. It's very thin, but it's very pleasant to work with. And as you can see, the coverage is pretty neat. It's like you don't see anything. On camera it looks like there's something visible from beneath the crosses, but in real life it's very dense. Besides, after you wash it, it's gonna even become thicker. And one of the peculiarities of Nova Sloboda brand is that for the most part they have all of those printed canvases. Not all of their kits, but most of them. This one is like, it's not actually printed. You can't see any obvious pattern, but it's this gray foundation. It ensures that the final result is as seamless as possible. In fact, this is the tiger. I have a panther in my started stash, and I also have a jaguar, I have a lion, and I have someone else from this collection. So you can logically assume that I really like it. Yeah. Moving on. This part, this project I call Catlender. It's like a calendar, but Catlender. The official name of this project is something different. I don't really know. It's also a bit from the brand Riolis. It's like every piece depicts each month of the year. It's like December, January, February, and then there's March, April, May, the whole 12 month. So the original plan was to finish each of these small patterns according to the month. It's like finish this one in December, then blah blah. But I don't know. I started it probably in 2023, and as you can see, I haven't finished it yet. Although it's not very complicated, it's very pleasant. Once again, it's stitched in acrylic thread. As you can see, it has many beautiful blends. The only thing that I don't really like is this framing backstitch. It's not like I'm not a fan of backstitch. I do understand that it's necessary to make the pattern dimensional and more beautiful. Well, honestly, I cannot tell you the reason why I haven't finished it yet. It's absolutely gorgeous, and probably this year maybe is gonna be the year of this pattern. Another of my secret passions would be printed cross stitch. I mean, it's not like print, it's cross stitching on a printed patterns. Some of you may already know this brand, the Joy Sunday. They are the most famous on the market of printed cross stitch. And I think it's another replica from the brand Dome or Dome. I'm not sure how to pronounce it correctly, but it's also absolutely stunning. I started this piece, I don't know, maybe it's like 10% of this project is done. It's very simple. It's absolutely simple. I mean, it's the simplest. It's as simple as one could dream about. But since I have one too many projects, this one's been in my stash for a couple of years now. Actually, I have a companion for this. I'm not sure, maybe if it's with flowers or if it's with fruit. I don't actually remember. And also, it's still in Ukraine. I haven't brought it with me to Italy, but I think I probably should finish this one before I start the companion. Going on. This one is absolutely magnificent piece from Luca-S or Luca-S, I don't know how to pronounce it correctly as well. But it's a Gobelin collection. I actually like the Gobelin collection of Luca-S because all of the patterns are very substantial. It's like 60,000 crosses or something like that. And if you stitch it in Gobelin stitch, it's like half of it. I don't know, it's maybe also 10% of the project that I have already done. It's not as easy as it seemed in the beginning, because when I started stitching the background, it was like absolutely simple. But then when I got to these tiny flowers, I don't know what are they, maybe violets, and also the rose, it got a little bit more complicated. But still, I'm gonna finish it one day. I like it. As you can see, one of my favorite themes in cross-stitching are flowers. This is also this is another flower. It's called Dahlia. It's also from the Riolis brand. It's also stitched in acrylic floss. And another peculiarity of this project is that it is stitched on 10 count Ada, but as you can see, it has some plumpest stitches, and as you can see, the blends are also supreme. Sometimes they like match the unmatchable. As you can see in this one, it's like there are 3 different colors of floss combined into single cross, and it creates the dimension, the necessary shadow and shading. There are actually 3 more companion to this one. I have only 2 of them. I have the dahlia and poppies, but there are also lilies and Chinese rose or something like that. I don't actually remember the name of the flower. So yeah. The next piece is I'm not really sure how it's called. I call them oriental butterflies. It's also a replica of dimensions, but I found the electronic pattern. I gathered the floss and I started stitching, so I don't it's not even a Chinese replica, it's just my own compilation of thread and canvas. This canvas, I suppose it's 28 count. It's some kind of Ukrainian even wheel, but it's very pleasant to work with. The pattern is actually very vibrant, and it kind of raises your mood when you're stitching. If you see any fur on my pattern, on my projects, is because I have 3 furry children. It's like I have a husky dog who sheds non-stop and two cats, so there's a lot of fur incorporated in my embroidery. This is called, it's a very, very difficult name to pronounce. It's Neuschwanstein Castle. It's the kit from Reshka. For some reason, well, actually I know for which reason it was stuck in my project. It started moving on recently. I don't know, maybe it's again, I don't know, 10-15% done. I started this kit after I had laser correction of my eyesight, and the 16 count Ada was too difficult for me to stitch on at the time, and then I postponed it for like a year or so, but now it's again added into my rotation, and I hope I'm gonna finish it soon, because it's not a really big project, but it's certainly very, very beautiful. You haven't actually seen a lot of samplers in my collection so far. It's not like because I don't like them. I do like samplers, but for some reason I never start them. This one I started last year in 2024, so I guess we're moving on to 2024. I started it and I did like 25% of this cross stitch, and then I postponed it for some reason. I don't know why, something was bothering me. And then again, this year, I looked at it. I thought maybe I'm just gonna do one floss, and then I started and I noticed how gorgeous it looks like, even though it's also a Chinese replica. But it looks gorgeous. I think I'm gonna make a small sofa cushion out of it. Well, not actually me, because I'm very bad at sewing. I'm gonna ask my mom to do that. This sampler has another companion, but I don't have it in my stash yet. Maybe sometime soon. So it's like it's 80% done. Like I have to finish this part and then I can frame it into a cushion. As I already said, I really like to stitch printed patterns. Actually, it wasn't a love at first sight because the first pattern I got was also printed, but it featured silk thread, silk floss, which is not actual silk but the artificial silk, which is absolutely difficult to work with. So I was like, no, never again, I'm not gonna use printed patterns. But then I don't know how I returned to printed patterns. Maybe my love appeared after I finished one of the printed parts, printed pieces, and I figured that it actually looks as good as the original piece. This one, I call it Winter Lantern, and they call it Winter Lantern as well. It is a piece designed by designer, what's her name? Lartsova, Yelena Lartsova. But I have a printed version of it. Well, the main difficulty with printed patterns is like you cannot say which is which until it's finished. Here I've done like 30%. The bottom part is almost done, but except for the back stitch. I mean, here it shows where I stitched. I mean, I'm not the neatest of stitchers because I do lengthy spaces, but it doesn't bother me because it's gonna be on the back side. The only part that bothers me is the front side, and as you can see, the cross is relatively neat, so it's okay. At one point I thought that I'm gonna have like seasonal lanterns, like winter, spring, summer, autumn, but the more I dive into this thing and the more my my kit stash grows, and those that haven't been started yet, I think that unless I have nothing else to stitch, I'm gonna be completing those collections. At the moment, I think I'm gonna finish this one, and if I'm gonna do any other seasonal lantern, it's gonna be from another brand or from another designer, something like that. This pattern from Letty Stitch, it's called Dreamcatcher Wolf. I wouldn't say that I'm a strong believer into dream catchers, but I have a thing for Native American mythology, I would say. And also I have a husky dog, and this one resembles, my dog has two different eyes, and if you can see closely, this wolf also has different eyes, so it kind of resonates with my pet. And when I chose this pattern, I wanted to associate it with my dog. But as you can see, there's not much to show. I started it when I was in Poland, when we were moving from Ukraine to Italy, but we had to stay in Poland, and the transition was pretty stressful, and there's no better way to deal with stress than to start a new cross-stitch kit. And that's actually what I did. This one follows in to the previous kit's stat because I also started this in Poland. We were only 2 weeks in Poland, and as you can see, I managed to start a lot of projects there. But at least now I have some memories, and it's always nice to have a pattern that has a memory. It's like when you can connect it to something. It's like maybe something you were reading, something you were watching, something you were doing, or someone gave it to you. This kit I started from center because I wanted to see how the face of the lady is gonna come out. Because as I said, my favorite starting point is the bottom right part of the canvas, but I really wanted to see how the face would come out. And also, this pattern has association with the Game of Thrones, which I'm a fan of, so it's kind of ish Daenerys, not really similar to her, but maybe if you depict it not like Emilia Clarke, but like Daenerys from the books. Moving on. This is a piece by Luca-S, but I also don't have, this is the original kit, but I don't have an original preview. Once again, for some reason, I thought that it wasn't necessary. Well, it's going to look like this. I changed the original canvas because it comes at 16th Ada, and this is probably 27th count even weave, but I'm not sure. It's once again some Ukrainian even weave. I'm not really sure what it is, but it's very soft. I don't really enjoy stitching on rigid canvas. I like something soft. So this is exactly 10%. I started it and then I set it aside. Right at the same time when I started the Peonies in Vase, the previous pattern, I started this one, which is called The King of Flowers. It also was a pretty required piece in the spring of 2024, I believe. Also, I don't have, this is the original kit, but I don't have an original preview. This one I haven't changed the canvas because it's like the full coverage pattern, so it has no backstitch or anything, so I suppose that using the canvas that comes in the kit is okay. It's gonna look like this. One of the biggest controversies about this pattern is that there are like only 4 flowers. In Ukrainian culture, it's like a bad omen or something, but for me, I see 3 more smaller ones, so I started it. It has so many bright, vibrant colors. It's a very beautiful piece. Well, I'm repeating myself because I love all my projects. Well, otherwise I wouldn't have started them, would I? This is yet again a piece from Luca-S, which is called Flower Favor. Also, I don't have a preview, but I'm gonna show you a digital one. It looks like this. It's also in Gobelin stitch, half stitch. It's not the full stitch, but it comes out nicely, except for the part with the lady's hair. It's time consuming. Like this part I finished pretty much in no time, but this part is quite time consuming because of the colors. As you can see, the whole pattern isn't that bright. But I'm almost 35% through it, so one day soon I'm gonna finish it too. The next one, it's also, It's also a designer pattern. I don't really recall the name of the designer, but it comes in seasonal patterns. I started from the bottom because since it was a new designer to me, I didn't know if what comes on the canvas gonna coincide with something that is depicted on the picture. Hold up. It looks like that. I believe this is spring. There's also summer, autumn, and winter. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be doing all four, although I like them. I hand painted this canvas too. It was supposed to be green. Well, it's not, it's like very pale green at the moment, but the only thing is that it was folded and now all the creases are like faded. I don't know if you can see it this way. They have faded. Well, I don't think that I'm gonna be framing this piece. If anything, maybe it's gonna be a cushion cover or something like that if I ever finish it, so it doesn't matter much. I'd like to say that I stitch for the sake of stitching. It's not like I plan to frame something and hang it on my walls. That's why I'm stitching it. No, I'm stitching it because it's my hobby and because I like the pattern. I don't really think about what I'm gonna do with it when I finish it. But it's also very nice. The colors, the back stitch is counted, so it's nice. And the outcomes, as far as I can say, is pretty good. Another one is also a designer pattern. It surely has its name given by the designer, but I call it Dragon Lantern. I don't know the actual name of this pattern. When it's done, it's gonna look like this. It's like a dragon phoenix captured in the lantern. And one of the peculiarities of this pattern, first of all, it's done in my favorite palette. I like violet colors. Secondly, it's primarily half stitch, like only a few parts like this lantern or these buildings in the background, they are stitched in full stitch, and the rest is half stitch. And there are many blends which are also, I don't know if you can see, it's like for instance here you can see dusty blue with vibrant blue, and here it's like dusty pink with violet. The blends are very nice. It's also one of my decade projects, so you're gonna be seeing it quite often if you're gonna follow me and watch my videos and my updates. Moving on, I don't know if you've been captured by the Stitching Land mania, but the moment those circles came out from Stitching Land, they were like, I don't know, everyone was obsessed and everyone is stitching them, and I'm no exception. I have so many I have bought so many of these patterns because I like the style and I like the vibrant patterns, and also they have a lot of ideas taken from mythologies. Like they have queens, mermaids, and witches, and all the dark subjects I like. So this was the first one that I started, the Mermaid. I have one more, you will see it later, but I have a couple of those in my stash and I would like to start all of them at once, but I do understand that there's no use because I have to finish at least one to start another one. When I was showing you the King of Jungle, I told you that I have a panther. This one is also my absolute favorite, but it's absolutely large pattern. I don't know. Hold up, I'm gonna try to look it up fast if I manage. It's something like 30 by 40 and it's full coverage. So, but it's once again from the Nova Sloboda, the Ukrainian brand. And I have like 3% on the canvas at the moment. It's probably a bit of this cute cardinal. As in the case with the King of Jungle, it's also the printed background, printed gray background, primarily just to make the pattern more visible, if anything, and it's a lot easier to stitch on a darker canvas than it is on white, because white can be harsh on your eyes at some point. So yeah, this piece also has some intricate blends, if you can see. It's like yellow and orange, orange and red. It has, for the piece that looks primarily black, it has one too many blends. I cannot find the pattern at the moment to tell you how many blends it has, but it's like 20 or even more. So it's not as simple as it looks on a preview, but it's interesting to stitch. Once again, it's Nova Sloboda, in case you want to look it up. I'm pretty sure that you can find it on some marketplaces like eBay. I'm not sure about 123 store, but you can look it up. And actually, I know that one of Ukrainian stores, they send cross-stitch patterns abroad. So this is how much has been stitched so far. Once again, not much, probably once again 15%. But the pattern is very simple, despite it may look quite complicated because of all of these tiny pieces, like all of these berries, but it's not, and the Christmas tree branches, but it's very easy to stitch. The only thing you have to have is time. I wouldn't say that you have to have patience, because it's very interesting to stitch, like all of their patterns, at least present day patterns. Moving on, here comes another replica of Dimensions gold collection, but I'm not really sure if they actually have this one in counted stitch, because I think it might be Satan stitch, or I don't know. I think that the Chinese brand compiled two separate patterns into one, and I'm actually glad they did this and did it, because I like it this way better. As you can see, I've done pretty significant work so far. It's maybe even half done. The canvas, it wasn't the one in the kit. I dyed this canvas on my own. I don't remember actually if it was tea or coffee that I dyed it with, but it has like those weird swirls. They're not gonna be visible anyway, but I just like the texture of this canvas. It's the 14th count and it stitches really well on this. It's like everything is visible. So yeah. Moving on, another one. Yeah, you're probably wondering what this is, but someday when it's finished, it's gonna be a very beautiful piece. I started it last year in autumn, in all the Halloween hype. I found this pattern somewhere. I don't actually remember where I found it. I know the designer. The designer's name is Marshmallow Witch, and I like this girl in pumpkins, and I decided to give it a go. But and this is how much I've managed to succeed with. This is probably 25th count linen. It's Chinese linen. It's not anything special, but I also like this type of linen. Is starting enough, but not really harsh. And as you can see, the crosses are pretty even. Okay, moving on. This is also designer pattern. It surely has some official name, but I just call it the Figs. And it's gonna look like this. It has a companion with the lizard, but I haven't started it yet because I want to finish this one. I wouldn't say that this is the easiest of patterns I've ever done, especially if you look at these figs. The part has a lot of blends, and the backstitch isn't actually counted, and it has one too many 1/3, so it's very time consuming. And the background, which is done in half stitch, it goes in one one thread, and it's really difficult because it's very pale and it is stitched on a white-ish canvas. I wouldn't say it's white, it's probably milk color. Monica. It's Monica from Bilhor. And yeah, this part is the most difficult for me, the background. The rest, I like it. Well, as you can see, there's a fair share of 1/3, but on even view it's not that difficult to stitch. And also the figs have too many beautiful blends, so it's kind of meditative when you stitch it. And the leaf was easy to finish because it has large blocks of the same color. The fig itself was a bit more time consuming, but it's definitely worth it. I still remember about this design, this project, and I want to continue it, and I want to start the companion. If I haven't said, the name of the designer is Ekaterina Volkova. This is also a pattern by her, which is probably called Flame Roses. Unfortunately, I don't have a quality preview even in my program because I'm stitching it in a different program because the cross stitch saga doesn't support it much. but it's gonna be something like this. It's exactly what it is, flame roses. It's a bouquet of vibrant roses in a vase on a colorful background. Moving on. This one, this cross stitch is called Spring Cup. I don't really understand why, because in my humble opinion, this pattern doesn't really reflect the spring vibes. It's more of a summer, late summer, or even autumn, because it features a girl with a cup and a scarf and surrounded by roses, and I'm not sure if roses bloom that well, that heavily in spring. But I also like this designer. I have a couple of patterns from her, and I have almost all of these girls because they are like seasonal ones. There's a autumn girl with a cup. I don't actually remember. There's the summer girl, and there's the winter one. Yes. I wouldn't say that this is a difficult pattern. It isn't, but it's actually quite large. It has like 25,000 cross stitches, and one of the peculiarities of this pattern is that it has I don't know how they are called, elongated stitches. I'm not sure if I've already done those, but they are gonna be used in her face and in her fingers, so I haven't reached that part yet. But every time I take it, it's like it flows. It's a very beautiful pattern. But it has a lot of backstage. I think some of it could have been dropped because it's not all necessary, but I follow the pattern, so I don't actually leave out anything on my own. And moving on, this is grapes and wine, but I call it Chardonnay or white wine. I have finished this year the red one, and it's already framed. I stitched it on a printed canvas once again, from the same brand, and I finished it pretty fast. I started in March of this year, and then I finished in probably July or something. So it was very easy and very enjoyable pattern. Where here it hasn't been done much. Well, as you can see, this is what I've managed to do so far. This part, the green part, I'm not gonna stitch, even though it's supposed to be stitched according to the original Chinese pattern. It's supposed to be stitched in acru floss, but I'm just gonna leave it white, and that's it. This one is one of my recent starts. Actually, I haven't been starting much recently. It's like I don't really have the desire to start something. That's one point, and the other point is I don't have the digital pattern for this cross stitch yet, because it's a new one. It's a new collection from once again Noah Sloboda. It's named in the style of Coco Chanel. I really like this lady, but I don't have the digital pattern, so I had to use the good old paper chart to do this. But even though I've been stitching using the paper chart, I wouldn't say that this is a complicated pattern. It's quite easy, maybe because it's just the floor I was stitching, so it goes easy. But the print in the background. As you can see, it's different than in the previous projects that I show you from the same brand. They were like same colored, and here it actually has a printed sort of a picture on the wall. So yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna continue using the paper chart, or maybe I'm gonna ask around if someone's ready to convert the paper chart into the digital one. I don't know why they call it white flowers in a bottle. It doesn't look anything like a bottle. It's jasmine in a vase or something like that. It's I bought this pattern, the digital pattern, from our Ukrainian stitcher A.Yermakova, but I didn't want to go all the way to gather the canvas and the floss, so I bought the printed replicas from NKF, and this is as much as I've stitched so far. I don't actually remember if the blends are included into the NKF pattern or I was just making them on my own. I don't remember. Probably I was making them according to the original pattern from the designer. But so far so good, I would say. Hold up. Which way is it? Probably this way. This is one of my summer starts. In June of this year, I had the urge to start as many patterns as I wanted, but I prepared a fair share of those, but actually I think that I started only 3 out of 5 because I felt that it was enough to satiate my urge. And this is the pattern from Amelie Stitch. I also don't know the official name of it. I call it the Summer. I chose it because of the flowers, of the palette, of the purple palette, and of the serenity of this picture. I started it on pale pink Ada. I ordered a pack of different colored Adas from AliExpress, and I must say that it's a really nice quality Ada. I wouldn't say anything bad about it. But this is one day stitching. I don't know, maybe it has like 500 stitches in it. As I said, I started quite a few patterns during June. Maybe that's because I was ill. Was like ill for 2 weeks in June, and I had to entertain myself somehow. This series of these cats are very popular. They are like also seasonal cats. These are summer cats. It's probably called Purring Summer because there's Purring Spring, Purring Autumn, Purring Winter, and there's a fifth one. It's about something about the night, but I don't really know the actual name of it. I have all the patterns, but since it was summer, I decided to start from the Purring Summer. This is also one day, maybe not even one, maybe just a half a day stitching. That's a really small pattern, so I could probably finish it in a week or something, but I won't. I mentioned before that I had one more of stitching land circles, and I don't know what is it with me and the official names, but I need to assign my names and titles to my cross stitches to differentiate one from another. I call this one Violet Queen. Well, if you look at it, you wouldn't wonder why I call it this way. I don't know, even though it's not like the Red Queen from Alice in Wonderland, but there's something, there are some connections. Maybe it's because there's the heart in the bottom of her dress. Well, I like this one very much. There's whenever I start something, I usually try to complete at least 10% of the new project. Of course, if it's like 60k pattern, I'm not gonna succeed with 6k per one run. But I think it's 10% done already. It's very beautiful. Well, once again, I like the purple color, so the palette is totally mine. This preview is probably not the best, so I'm gonna try and show you what I have on my tablet. This pattern is called the Angel of Peace. Originally it is a classic design pattern. I wouldn't say it's much of my thing, but I seen one lady stitching this pattern, and I actually liked it very much, and I decided to find it online, but as far as I know, it's probably discontinued already. So I found once again AliExpress replica, and yeah, it's a very detailed pattern, but it's not the most complicated. It's quite simple, but that simplicity may be something that bores you to the point. I don't know. I have only 2.5% stitched so far. But one of the reasons I've done so little is because I think I have to wash the canvas, because it's too rigid for me. It's like, it's so harsh that you can actually cut yourself. But the outcome, I have this, I don't know if it's a lamp or it's a cuff. The outcome is more than satisfactory. It's also the one night's work. So you can say that it's a very simple pattern. This one is also a Ukrainian brand, I suppose. Classic design. This is a replica on someone else's design, I suppose, but I don't mind. The only thing I did, I changed the canvas because it came with white 16th count Ada, and it wasn't the best quality. It's like, I like soft canvas, but that one was way too soft. And I had this this little piece I also dyed on my own someday in something, I don't know, maybe once again it's a coffee or tea, probably it's coffee. And this is how much I managed to stitch. This is a 2025 start. I made a mistake because, as you can see, this part I was stitching as a blend, because there were, in the pattern it said 2 floss of one color and 3 floss of another color, but according to the original pattern it goes this way. You make 1/2 stitch in one color and you cover it with another. So this part is done correctly, but I decided not to frog it because, I mean, it's a rose, and apart from me and you, no one's gonna know that there's a mistake here, so. But I actually see a point in doing one half of a stitch in one color and the other in another, because it has this unique effect. As I said, I like the museum collection, and I have a fair share of pieces from replicas from famous painters like Van Gogh and Klimt. This one, I don't actually remember who's the painter. Probably should have looked it up. But if you have any questions about this piece, just mention in the comments below. This is also an shop replica of the brand PANNA's pattern, but it says the road in the Ray. It's not Ray, but Rye, because there are rye fields on the road. It's kind of a native scenery that I am used to, that I grew up in, so that's why this piece calls out to me. I started it this year and I haven't done much, but it's probably over 10%, and I must say it's a very simple piece, because the half of it is done in cross stitch, but the upper half, like from the horizon and up into the sky, it's a half stitch, and it goes like in seconds. I mean, not actually seconds, but you know what I mean. It stitches well. And we are arriving at the last piece of my stash, which is called Dual Flame. This is such a beautiful lady, but it's also a design from Ukrainian designer A.Yermakova. I didn't follow the advice of a designer. Actually, maybe there wasn't one, and I decided to stitch it in a half stitch, primarily because it's a very large pattern, and if you do it in half stitch, it's like you cut the stitching time in half. And this is how the final piece will look. And as I look at the pattern, and as I look at what came on the Gobelin canvas, I must say that this way it's even better, because it's more realistic. Actually, this is a work of one evening. So you can say that the pattern is very well made and well designed. So yeah, so we browsed through all of my 50+ patterns. I hope you liked it. In case you have any questions, don't hesitate to write me and ask me about anything. Also, I'd like to thank, if you managed to this part, I'd like to thank you for bearing with me. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope you stitched well as you were watching. So I'll see you next time. Bye.